From a dusty garage in Tennessee to a fleet of fire-breathing supercars, welcome to Goonzquad's ultimate rebuild kingdom. This isn't just a garage, it's a resurrection ground for legends. Let's start with one of the wildest builds these dudes have ever taken in. A one-of-a-kind McLaren Senna. This beast is one of only 500 ever made, and it's loaded with McLaren Special Operations or MSO options that make it basically a rolling work of art. But here's the kicker. They scooped it up in the most Goonzquad way possible, completely wrecked for $351,000 with an extra $24K in fees on top. Now let's talk about the damage to the car. The Senna was crashed by the previous owner who smacked a wall due to a traction control mishap. The result was absolute carnage. The front frame rail is bent, there's a massive hole in the passenger side floor, and the carbon fiber tub, the very heart of this car, might be toast. Oh, and it's missing the engine cover, the roof scoop, the key, and a ton of front-end parts. The boys have their work cut out for them though. Fixing a carbon fiber tub isn't like hammering out a dent on a Mustang. McLaren uses literal robots to build these things, and they're not exactly handing out spare tubs to backyard mechanics. They have to custom fab parts, figure out workarounds, or some serious magic just to get it roadworthy again. And yet the goal isn't just to fix it. Now they want to make this thing even better than factory spec, like full redemption arc. And get this, they even plan to invite Edmund back to drive the car once it's fully dialed in, with the right traction setup this time. Bottom line, this is one of the riskiest, most ambitious projects Goonzquad has ever touched. It's not just about rebuilding a car, it's about chasing the impossible. And if anyone could pull it off, you know it's these guys. Just when you thought the McLaren Senna build was the wildest thing in the garage, the Goonzquad boys hit us with another twist. The camera car. And no, it's not some sleek futuristic concept SUV, it is a beat-up ex-police Chevy Tahoe they snagged at auction for just $8,000. Why? Because even if you're rebuilding million-dollar hypercars, you still need a way to film them flying down the road. And this thing was about to become the behind-the-scenes hero. Now here is where it gets classic Goonzquad. This Tahoe wasn't just some retired cruiser. It came fully loaded with leftover police tech, cameras, cages, a PA system, even a working light control unit that probably cost more than the SUV itself when it was new. The guys literally found handcuffs, road flares, zip ties, even a fingerprint kit in the back. It was like the ultimate gear-hauling action movie spec SUV. Except for the fact that the front end was completely and totally wrecked. Frame rails bent, oil leaking, entire front clip shoved in, it was a mess. But the heart still beat. It fired up. And with the McLaren project draining every last dollar, couch coin, and favor, dropping another $30,000 to fix the Tahoe just wasn't gonna fly. So they did what they do best, outsmarted the problem. Instead of buying parts piece by piece, they picked up a second Tahoe for $18,000. This one had a burnt interior. Seriously, it smelled like a campfire inside. But it ran perfectly and had everything they needed mechanically. They stripped the wrecked cop car of its best bits, brakes, wheels, tires, lights, and started swapping everything over to the fire-damaged but running Tahoe. The result? That being a purpose-built 4x4 filming machine with police-grade stopping power, aggressive looks thanks to that push bar, and a rear hatch perfect for catching rollers of their other insane builds. It might not have the flash of the Senna, but make no mistake, this camera car is just as important to the Goonzquad operation. While we're at it, what's a Goonzquad garage tour without a little bit of Lambo madness? Right alongside the camera build, the boys are cranking up the heat with their latest giveaway car, a blacked-out Lamborghini Huracan with bold orange accents. And yeah, you heard that right, it is twin turbocharged and comes with a casual $50,000 in cash. This isn't just some cool side project, it is a full circle moment. They straight up reminded us how they went from wrenching on Jeeps in their parents' basement to now handing someone the keys to a full-blown supercar. It's not just a giveaway, it is a life changer. And the Huracan itself, well, pure perfection. This wasn't a salvage job or a crazy rebuild, this thing was bone stock and pristine when they picked it up. Never wrecked, no frame drama, just an untouched V10 beast waiting to be unleashed. Inside, it's all Alcantara with orange stitching, a headliner to match, and yes, the famous $2,000 Lamborghini cup holder, because, you know, of course, that's a thing. And while it looked sick right out of the box, they knew it had way more potential. So they shipped it off to Project Gamma in Texas, and in less than 24 hours, this Huracan came back breathing fire. The twin-turbo kit is next-level OEM-grade quality, AC-cooled intercoolers for consistent power, forged carbon ducts, wrapped pinning, and the full boost setup with wastages and blow-off valves. The difference is night and day. It is shredding tires in every gear. Pulling harder, shifting smoother, and sounding absolutely unreal. You could daily this thing or just take it straight to the track. And yeah, it's not just fast, it looks the part too. They added VRS-style carbon fiber from carbon.com, an aggressive new front bumper, a sculpted hood, and a rear wing that completely changes the car's silhouette. They had louvered fenders on order but didn't arrive in time for the video, and they're still playing with the idea of adding a 610 style lip and rear diffuser. So the car is still evolving, but if you ask me, it looks pristine as is. Inside, it's got that carbon fiber treatment too. Door seals, vents, center console, gas cap, all from exotic car gear. That alone is a $30,000 interior glow-up. There were even plans for carbon paddle shifters and a custom steering wheel, but they had to hold off on those due to a time crunch. Boost Logic bucket seats are already in, lightweight, track-ready, and still somehow comfy. They were even thinking about throwing in a roll cage with a powder-coated orange finish, but that might end up in an R8 build down the line to keep the Huracan more street-friendly. And just when you think the garage couldn't get any more intense than a twin-turbo Huracan giveaway, the boys roll in with something a little less flashy, but way more complicated. A wrecked 2024 Toyota Land Cruiser Hybrid. This isn't just any SUV, it is the comeback kid of Toyota's legendary off-road lineup. And of course, they had to grab one with some serious potential. The one they scored comes in this deep underground gray with navy undertone, blacked out trim, roof rack, dark windows, possibly aftermarket, and it's loaded with the premium package. Inside, it's all upscale ruggedness. Java Softec seats with that soft coffee leather feel, a digital dash heads-up display, and lane assist. There's even a cool box in the center console. Yes, it literally keeps your drinks cool. All that and off-road toys galore. Sway bar disconnect, crawl modes, rear locker, the works. It's powered by a 2.4-liter Turbo 4 hybrid setup with 326 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque. And despite all that grunt, it still hits 22 miles per gallon and can tow 6,000 pounds. But here's the kicker. No third row in the US version thanks to the hybrid battery taking up that space. You do get vents, grab handles, USB ports, and a ton of cargo room though. But this one, yeah, it's seen better days. The front end took a light tab, some scratches and a small dent on the hood, misaligned headlights, probably broken tabs, and trim pieces pushed out of place. Honestly, the kind of damage you can fix without ordering new parts. The real story is out back. It looks like a semi-truck used the rear quarter panel as a braking system. The whole tailgate area is crumpled, the bumper is toast, and the damage even pushed inward into the structure. Surprisingly, the undercarriage held up okay. The spare tire took the brunt of the hit and protected most of the components, though the track bar and axle have some minor issues. Now, the frame is where things get spicy. This thing is built like a tank. Body on frame with a thick tub sitting on top, but even tanks have their limits. The rear crossmember was done for, so they hunted down one of only 4 replacements in the country and dropped 1.2 on it. The bigger issue though, one of the frame rails got kinked, and Toyota does not sell it as a standalone part. The dealer quoted $10K for a whole new frame, but instead of going that route, they're using their $10K frame machine to heat, pull, and hopefully bring that rail back to spec. It's a gamble, but one they're taking to avoid a massive expense. To start the rebuild, they pulled the rear glass to avoid cracking it while working on the quarter panel and discovered all the hybrid goodies packed inside, like the roof-mounted vents that cool the battery and an extra HVAC setup. A fun twist, this hybrid system was throwing errors because the trunk trim, housing a key HVAC sensor, was missing, and the antenna on the trunk lid was unplugged. Once those were solved, though, the system came back to life, and the Land Cruiser finally moved under its own power. Right now, they've already cut off the damaged crossmember and are prepping to weld the new one in. The next big step is pulling the frame rail back into shape and getting the tub aligned. It's not your typical quick rebuild, this one's more of a chess match. every move has to be calculated, especially with the risk of messing up the frame and adding another $10,000 to the tab. They're even calling in V-Tune for a second opinion, just to make sure they're not about to bite off more than they can chew. Coming off the back of a slammed Land Cruiser rebuild, the shop pivots hard, straight into American muscle territory, and not just any muscle car. We're talking about a C6 Corvette ZR1, a legit dream build for the Goonzquad. You don't see these pop up wrecked at auction too often, so snagging one was like hitting the jackpot. The mission? Bring this thing back to its glory days, with a few modern twists to give it that Goon's signature. This one came to them needing some work, but it had good bones. The paint was already done and the rear end was assembled, but the front clipped doors and most of the interior were still out. Under the hood sits the legendary LT5 supercharged motor, which already fired up with a nasty chop, so you know it's cammed. The radiator fan was loud though, which raised some flags about damage, but that was quickly resolved with a brand new unit. They also added a dry carbon intake with the biggest air filter they have ever seen, designed to gulp air straight through the bumper grill, perfect for this kind of power. To keep it all safe, they wrapped the spark plug wires in heat shielding and added a cover for that clean engine bay look. The front end came together with precision. They installed both doors and fenders, dropped in the OEM ZR1 headlights with new lenses and some black accents, and finished it off with a carbon fiber front lip and Morimoto LED fog lights. The whole look was dialed in with LED marker lights and a black front badge, and they took their time to align the hood and bumper just right. No shortcuts here. From there, the exterior kept leveling up. Carbon fiber side skirts and rear skirts went on, adding both protection and that aggressive ZR1 edge. They buffed the carbon fiber roof to perfection, no need for a re-clear, and it matches beautifully with the C6's classic curved glass. The interior stayed true to factory styling with a clean layout that still holds up over a decade later. They managed to track down and install the original ZR1 seats and got the doors assembled with those futuristic, at least for 2010, electronic door poppers. But the sound might be the real star here. A brand new exhaust transformed the ZR1's tone into something more like a Hellcats battle cry. I mean, it's loud and pairs way too well with smoky burnouts, which, yeah, totally shredded the tires during testing. Overall, the car is shaping up to be a wild blend of aggressive looks and timeless performance. It's got modern carbon fiber touches all over, but still holds that C6 personality. While this one's an automatic with paddle shifters, they did float the idea of what a manual version would feel like, maybe for the future. Compared to the C7 ZR1, they're calling this the race car of the two, while the newer gen is more of a weekend cruiser. They're not quite done yet though. Plans include upgrading the fuel system with bigger injectors and a better pump, throwing in a hydraulic brake, which got delayed, and dialing in a proper tune. They're also debating between adding carbon mirrors to match the roof or just painting the existing ones black or maybe even orange to tie it into another project. Bottom line, this ZR1 might have started as a rebuild, but it's quickly turning into a masterpiece, and it fits perfectly between the chaos of frame-pulling Land Cruisers and the fury of a twin-turbo Huracan. Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more insane celebrity car collections. See you next time, gearheads.